"Mommy, mommy, wake up, mommy." I remember yelling at the top of my lungs as my mother lay in a coma, slumped over the bathroom tub. Her shoestring still tied tightly around her arm, and a syringe lay on the floor close to her body. She was just seconds away from dying from a drug overdose, and I was scrawled all over my mother's limp body, smacking the hell out of her. I was pleading for her to wake up. I remember turning on the cold water in the tub and pouring it all over her face, trying to wake her up. My yells turned into cries of desperation as I still got no response from the woman who I loved so much. The woman who took care of me, the only woman I knew. As her head lay cradled in my arms, I saw her life begin to slip away. She no longer looked like my mother. I pushed her eyelids open to see if she was still there, but all I got was a cold, empty stare. What more could a 5-year-old do but cry and ask God, "Please don't let my mommy die." Then, as if my cries were being heard from above, an angel was sent to me. Not your ordinary angel, but a black knight in shining armor. That black knight was my Uncle Chris, who emerged seemingly out of nowhere, towering over me with an aura of invincibility. As he stood in the doorway, suddenly I didn't feel so helpless. I didn't feel so alone. If there was a God, he or she had answered my prayers. My uncle, who was much bigger and stronger than I was, began to resuscitate my mother, smacking her much harder than I could. He picked her up and placed her into the tub, running cold water all over her body. He told me, "Run into the kitchen, look into the refrigerator, and get some milk." I stood frozen for a second. I'm thinking, milk? Here it is, my mother is lying in a coma about to die, and you want me to get some milk? I later would come to understand that milk was commonly used to bring down a person's high or bring them out of an overdose. Within a few minutes of performing this overdose ritual, my uncle had did what I didn't think was possible. He had given me back my mommy. Still in a delusional state, she turned to her 5-year-old son, and all she could say was, "Dwayne, I'm sorry." So happy that she was still alive, all I can say was, "Mommy, I love you."
All right, what's good, family? I was looking for Black Dot's book. I don't have it in front of me. I was looking for his book. Shout out to the brother Black Dot. Oh man, family.
That was a powerful commercial, man.
Was right, yeah.
Oh man, I thought I was getting ready to watch a movie.
Yeah. Listen, with AI and the technology that we have, we can really take this thing to the next level, Billy.
Yeah, man.
We gotta be careful not to become a slave to this thing. But if we use the right way, we can really take this thing to the next level, Billy. Like for real, man.
You have to use it as an enhancement, as an accessory, not as a sole thing.
Yeah. Indeed,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man. Without further ado, we ain't see this dude in forever. Welcome back to the platform, the one and only Billy Carson, man. Welcome back, Billy.
I'm back in the United States, man.
Yeah, welcome back, Billy. Every time you come on the show, it's a new journey in your life, man. You always, man, you got an eventful life, man. I mean, wow,
yes,
what an amazing life, my brother.
Yeah.
What's going on? How you doing, brother? What you been up to since last time we've seen you, brother?
I'm good, man. Like you say, a lot of different journeys. You know, one chapter closes, another chapter opens. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. My life is like a movie, like literally a real good movie too. I mean, a lot of drama, suspense, a little bit of comedy, some excitement, action. You know, and I really think that the life that I'm living is something that I definitely chose, even though with all the good times and all the bad times mixed in, and all the mediocre times. It just gives me the ability to relate to almost everyone at every single level. Whereas there are some people that I know, great people, but they just can't relate to people at certain levels. You know, I mean, I can relate to the person who's living in the gutter because I lived in the gutter. I can relate to a person that's been, you know, in wealthy and living luxurious and having no issues and no problems, because I've been there too. So I got, and everything in the middle, everything in between, you know, married, unmarried, divorced, not divorced, you know, engaged, whatever it is. But I can really relate to a lot of people sick, you know, near-death experience. So many things have happened. But, you know, since a lot of the things have happened, I'm very grateful, man. I really am in a mindset of gratitude. Initially, when things happen to you, you take a victim mentality. And at some point, if you're really consciously and spiritually growing, you realize that the victim mentality is actually dark energy, and that the energy that you have to be in is the energy of, what can I learn from this? What did I gain from this? And also, what good came out of this? Because a lot of the times when stuff happens to us over time, we tend not to even look for the good in it. We just tend to throw away the baby with the bathwater. And you can't do that all the time. You have to acknowledge the good, and you have to express the gratitude. So that's, you know, that's something that I've been able to do, thankfully, and I've really been able to work through some things. Recently, I just came back from Peru. Huge trip, huge tour, man. The most life-changing tour so far.
Wow.
Very challenging physically. I mean, physically, it was really challenging. We hiked up as high as almost 17,000 feet above sea level, which was pretty rough on the human body. The Avatar was trying to break down, and I had a flat tire too. I have a torn labrum in my left hip, but I'm leading the tour, so I can't act like I'm in pain. I can't suffer. I got to just go and lead, because the way that I go, the whole tour is going to go. So I toughed it out, hiked up a lot of mountains, a lot of rough terrain, but we did some spiritual things, man. I just want to tell you one thing before we get into the show. There was 100-yard rock. It's not even part of a real mountain. This is terraformed. So somebody with technology carved this thing 100 yards, carved it into a giant snake. They had the back of the snake going up and down over the course of over 100 yards. And it's about 100 to 200 feet off the ground. And the shaman, we took shaman with us, and the shaman taught us how to get up on it and to lay back and give thanks to the sun. So we did that. The next part I didn't expect. We had to walk across the back of this snake. Now, some parts are easy, some parts are super narrow. I got these big old size 14 shoes, Rich. And on one side, 100, on the other side is 100-foot drop, you're dead. There's no way to come back from that. And I'm talking about inches on each side of your foot to navigate this. But the shaman said, this snake is going to represent your life. This journey is going to represent your life. And when you get to the end, you're going to be a baby. And he was talking about that some parts are going to be easy, like in life. Sometimes you have these easy chapters that are just easy to navigate. Some parts are going to be treacherous and dangerous. Some parts are going to be scary, right? And so he was talking about this ebb and flow of life and how life takes you through all these twists and turns. And I swear to you, when I started walking that snake, my life started flashing before my eyes. Not as if I was going to die, but as I was going through this, walking down this thing very slowly, I might add, things were replaying in my mind. Like when I would hit a smooth area, I would remember all these things, you know, during the smooth times where I really wasn't no trauma or drama going on anywhere. Right. And when I would hit the dangerous area or the rough spot, I would remember something. It would just pop up in my mind. And everyone pretty much had that same experience. It was like watching your life flash before your eyes. And when you get to the very end, you got to descend. And this thing is super steep and there's nothing to hold on to. You can easily fall forward and break your neck. And I was just thinking, I hope everybody makes this one. But everybody thankfully made it okay. No injuries or anything. But we all got to the end and did this shaman ritual. And it was like definitely being born again, back to a baby. It's like you realize and you achieve a certain level of gratitude for all the rough spots, the smooth spots, the easy spots, and the fearful and treacherous spots in your life. It gave you this sense of gratitude for everything. It was a transformative experience, man. And the trip was worth it for just that one thing.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, you do a lot of traveling. We got an announcement. I know we later on. I'm hearing an echo. Billy, is that on your end? Do you have something open?
No,
Check,
no,
check,
no.
check. I don't think I hear no more.
Okay.
All right. All right, family. We got an announcement later on. We got a lot of things going on, but the big Kemet announcement, we're gonna talk about that a little later on. We told y'all briefly about it a couple of months ago when Billy was on the show. But wow, that's gonna be amazing. A couple of things that we want to talk about. We got the stone thing. Listen, family. Things are different than what they were a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's get busy time. It's activation time. It's it's that time. You know what I'm saying? It's God time. It's blueprint for God power time. Like when we did blueprint for God power, now is the time to apply that to the best of our ability. I want to start out before we really get into the topic, the solar storms and the geomagnetic storms and what's going on with Earth. I mean, it's beautiful with the changes that's happening, regardless of if they look, if they may look good or bad. People may look at the news and see what's going on in the news and they may get a little scared. But a sister named Vicky Diller said it's like pregnancy. Pregnancy could, it could be a little hard when giving birth. Giving birth. Giving birth. The process of giving birth could be a little hard. It could be painful. It could be bloody. But what comes out of that birth is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And we got to keep that in mind with what we're going through right now in this realm. Billy, I want to start out. You talked several times about gratitude. I've been in a real good mood lately, Billy, and I want to ask you one thing. I keep in mind, Billy, that I keep in mind about how the universe operates is that the universe picks up on our frequency. The universe doesn't just pick up on our words. And I think that's where a lot of intellectuals get lost in the information and don't get results because they think it's an intellectual journey or intellectual endeavor or intellectual thing where they could brain fuck the universe when the universe ain't even listening to your fucking brain. You can't brain F it. It's not listening to your effing brain. And I'm not gonna curse that much, tonight, whatever. I'm sorry. But your heart is important. I want to ask you, we express things with our heart. We express love. We express gratitude. I want to ask you, Billy, I want to put you on the hot seat. I want to ask Billy today, how did you express gratitude to the universe today? And I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you an example. I'll make it easy for you, Billy. I'm gonna give you an example about how I express gratitude. And everybody, listen, don't tell me about just affirmations. That's great because I did my affirmations today. But how did you express it?
Yeah.
How did you express whatever feeling you say you embody? You had to express it. If you're wealthy, how did you express it? Did you buy something expensive at the store that maybe your brain told you couldn't afford it, but you said, F it, this is what I truly want, this is how I want to live? That's an expression to the universe. That's a declaration to the universe. So I'm gonna tell you real quick, and I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. I'm hyped, but I'm hyped for a good reason, Billy. I'm hyped for a good reason tonight. Listen, so I expressed the feeling of gratitude and love early. I'm gonna give you an example. So my girl went to pick up our son from camp. He's in camp. I didn't pick him up today. She picked him up. I'm with my daughter, and I'm just looking at her. She's showing so much happiness on her face. And I took her and I hugged her, and I smelled her, and I'm just like, and I'm pretending, I'm not pretending. I'm using my energy and I'm giving her my love and energy. I'm like imagining giving her my love because I'm so grateful for her presence and I'm feeling it in return. And I'm just expressing like, oh my God, I'm so thankful. Oh my God, you're so beautiful inside and out. And I'm just like, oh, and I'm just like, and I'm in my mind, in my body, in my heart, I'm just melting inside. And she's smiling. And it was a beautiful moment, Billy. But that is an example of expressing love and gratitude because I'm grateful for that little girl. I'm extremely thankful for that little girl. And instead of just saying I'm grateful, I'm like, I'm hugging up, like, oh, my baby, my little mommy. So tell me, that's my example. So tell me, Billy, listen, we starting our family. It's that time, family. Yeah. Billy, tell me, how did you express gratitude?
That's beautiful. First of all, that's beautiful, man. That moment that you shared with your daughter, man. I wish I can go back in time and do that all over again because I know those moments. I know that feeling. I know that exact that exact high level love that you felt, and that smell. It's you can't even, man. It's just incredible. I wish I can go back in time to get back to that with my kids. But I just posted a video talking about gratitude. It's me standing on my back patio off my master bedroom, videotaping the nature, because I have this like nature preserve in my backyard with birds and otters, possums, raccoons, snakes, frogs, alligators. All this is right there in my backyard, literally. And I'm watching these animals and I'm watching this wildlife. And in the video, I'm holding the camera out toward. I posted it in my story. I'm pointing the camera out towards the scene, and I'm just saying, I used to take this for granted. For 2.5 years, I took this nature and this scene, this experience for granted, until just a few months ago. I said, now I can't get enough of it. I say this in the video. It's in my story. Wow. On social media. Wow. And I say, I'm just expressing so much gratitude for this, to be able to see the wildlife and see the animals and see the sun dancing on the lake, and just to take it all in and experience it for this moment, and just to be so thankful for this and express gratitude for this. And then what I do now, even like today, is instead of just watching and looking at it, now I go out in it. So I walk out there, and you've been in my backyard before, Rich.
It's beautiful.
You know? And
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So I go out there. Now I go out beyond I lift up the shades, and I go out beyond there, and I go out into the wilderness with the animals and the wildlife and the lake and everything else, with the sun out, and I absorb that vitamin D from the heavens, man, and just listen, just close my eyes and listen to the wildlife, listen to the birds, listen to the animals. And it's just like, wow, it's amazing, man. So, and I just say, man, to the universe, just thank you, man. Thank you for this moment, because there's so many fleeting moments that exist, and we don't pay attention because we're not present all the time. And I'm so busy, I'm definitely not present all the time. And I came to the realization that I have to be more present. I have to soak in and be thankful for everything that's happening, everything that's surrounding me, everything that's a blessing to me. And I have to realize that at some point in this dimension, in this particular temporal lifetime, all of this for me in this form will come to an end at some point. And I have to spend more time being grateful for the blessings that I've been given. And I really came to the realization, like, I've lived the life of 10 men already in one lifetime.
Yeah.
And just this one avatar body, I've lived the life of 10 men. Yeah. To be grateful and thankful for that. Some of the things I've been able to see, and some of the things I've been able to do and accomplish, and the people I've been able to help. It's just mind-blowing, man. So yeah, I express that gratitude on a daily basis.
Yo, you know what's interesting? I'm gonna tell you what's really interesting. And I've mentioned this before. I don't know if it was vaguely or I went in depth on it, but what's fascinating, Billy, is that when you're in it, when you're in your zone, when you're in your prime, when Michael Jordan in his prime years, or Kobe's in his prime years, or Billy is moving and shaking, or Rich is doing his thing and he's doing events and he's doing music, and we really can't feel it. Everybody around us tells us, wow, you're so amazing, you're doing, but it's like, in order to stay focused, it's hard to take yourself out and appreciate it. And often what happens is something slows us down, and then we appreciate it. But while we're in it, if I'm in my prime, if you're in your prime and you moving and shaking, you in that flow, it's almost like and we talk so much, Billy, about the importance of being in the flow, how important the flow is. But it's like, it's hard to be in the flow and to be appreciative at the same time. It's like they can't occupy two spaces. When you're in the flow, you're just moving, you're shaking, you're doing. You think if Kobe was appreciative for his game during the game, it would take him out the flow.
Exactly.
Like, so how the hell do we do this, Billy? Because it's like you accomplish so much, Everybody else appreciates and experiences it, but you don't even experience all your greatness till years later. Meanwhile, the whole world experienced how great Michael Jackson was. Michael Jackson probably didn't really understand who he was or how great he was till he died or something like that. I don't know. I'm just thinking. But how do you occupy these two spaces at the same time, Billy? The flow state and the gratitude state, brother.
It's really hard, man. You know, I mean, if you look at some of the pros like Kobe, Jordan, they would take special moments after the game was pretty much damn near done, or they made this huge comeback. You might see Kobe go, you know, he might do something like that, but that's a small bit. But you can't do it like you say when you're in that flow state. In order to stay in it, you got to stay in that groove. And you know, there would be times where, like, give you one example, and you were involved in this one actually. I worked in Miami in the morning. I hopped on a plane. I flew to Atlanta. I worked with you in the afternoon. In New York, right? I hopped on a plane in New York, from New York, flew to California, worked with Dr. Greer in California, hopped on a red eye and flew back to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, worked that morning in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, hopped on a plane, flew to Texas, worked in Texas, Austin, Texas, in 2 different podcasts, and flew to Atlanta. I think I did Invest Fest or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, one of them things. Then I flew back to Fort Lauderdale. It was like boom, 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 boom. Now you're in the flow the whole time because you got to be prepared for all this stuff. I'm not even going to hotels some nights. I'm just going straight on the plane and going to the next city. Damn. And like you say, when that's happening, you know, you can't really sit back and go, wow, look what I just did. By the time it's over, you're like, I need to take my ass to sleep. You know, I just did Joe Rogan, PBD, Invest Fest, Richard Merritt, you know what I'm saying? I'm Dr. Greer, Next Level Soul podcast, and the next thing you know, I'm back at the house. And so it's just like, damn. But you're right. I never had a chance to really fully appreciate that run. You know, I never sat back and said, wow, gratitude for this run. I never sat back and just appreciated what I was able to accomplish in that very short period of time. And it's something, you know, the reflections of these things, it's never too late to give and express gratitude. So I'm glad you brought this up, Rich, because you brought this to the top of my mind at this exact moment. So what I'm going to do later, to be quite honest with you, I'm going to sit back and remember that run that I was on. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to sit back and meditate on it. You know, I'm going to meditate on, and I'm going to express that gratitude because that was an amazing accomplishment. I never got really a chance to really soak it in.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's what it's about. I'm glad I was able to, like, you know, help you realize, you know, that incredible run, man. And it's something that, like, I see brothers in the chat saying, yo, I need Billy's drive. So it's something that drive, that within itself, you should tell the universe 1,000 times to Billy, you should count it on your, I'm thankful for my drive because Billy, 1 out of 1 million men have that drive, maybe more, maybe less. I mean, or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
but
I know what you mean.
Yeah. That you have, brother. I told you before. That's the Mamba mentality. Very rare, unique, extremely rare, man. So you got a lot to be grateful for, and we're talking like this, family, because if we're talking about the solar flares or the solar storms, and we're talking about it affecting us, our DNA or on a molecular, or affecting us on a molecular level, what frequency are you occupying right now to be in tune or to resonate with the messages? So that's the whole purpose of the show tonight, is to get us on a frequency to resonate with the high frequencies that are hitting the planet so that we can enter the new earth and not be held back on the old earth that we see the same old things going on. We want to elevate. So a magnificent show that I'm proud to be a part of. I don't even know how to start it because we got so many things to talk about tonight. Let me start out with like this, family. So many things to talk about. All right. So first of all, June 28th, Billy Carson will be joining us on Stone Mountain, family. Stone Mountain, June 28th. We are meeting up at 5:45 a.m. Like I said, family, if any of y'all, if we're talking about, listen, you really got to believe this shit. I know a lot. See, some people say, Rich, man, that nigga's just trying to make $1. He's out here talking all this fantastical shit, all this metaphysical mumbo. I really believe this. Back in the day, I'm gonna give you a quick story. And I know I'm talking a lot because I'm excited. I used to buy DVDs from a brother named Sarnetta, and I would pick up esoteric DVDs, and he would say, why you buying that for, brother? Get this Khalid Muhammad. He was more like Afrocentric Black Power, and nothing wrong with the brother. I love Khalid, but I just wasn't into that. I was more into the esoteric stuff. So he would just scratch his head like, why is this young dude? He's like, I'm like 20. I'm 20, literally. I'm 19 or 20. And he's like, why is this 19-year-old dude buying esoteric tapes instead of buying Dr. Khalid Muhammad? He just couldn't understand it. Till this day, he still don't understand. He calls me a spook to this day. That's my brother. He says I'm spooky. You're like, Rich, you spooky. I love it, but he calls me spooky. But anyway, my point is that I'm really, really tapped into this information, and anybody, family, I'm telling you, anybody who is willing to meet us at 5:45 in the morning, there's something special about you. And I'm not saying that to discredit anybody who can't make it. I understand circumstances, some of y'all can't, but anybody who's willing to go through that, oh my God, God bless you. And like I said, the last show, even if you don't ever watch the show again or, whatever, I appreciate, know that you are special. Know that there's something about you that's yearning for this information and this knowledge. So shout out to everybody, June 28th, Stone Mountain, who's going to link up with us at 5:45 a.m. It's going to be absolutely amazing. There's an all-star lineup waiting for you. I didn't even say all the names yet, family. Oh my God, just thinking about it. Just thinking about it gets me, makes me so sad. But June 28th is going down, Stone Mountain. That's one thing I want to say. Billy, man, I look forward to seeing you there, man.
Yeah, brother. Yeah. Listen, this Stone Mountain's about at its very highest peak, probably 1,800 feet. After coming from 17,000 feet, I could do that moonwalking backwards with my eyes closed and my hands cuffed. I mean, it's going to be a piece of cake for me. I mean, after what I just been through. I might do cartwheels to the top of that mountain.
Hey, man, listen, man, you're a vet at this traveling, at this mountain thing. You are definitely a veteran. So yeah, I just look forward to being around all your energy, yourself and everybody else that's going to be there. I just look forward to being around that energy in an environment like a mountain, and especially at that time in the morning where the energy is so potent. It's just going to be an amazing feeling. Feeling.
Absolute best, man. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a journey. It's, every time I'm learning about these mountains, man, there's something about climbing mountains, hills, nature. When you go on a trail, even if it's a flat trail, it's all about the journey. And the shaman are the ones that taught me this just recently in Peru. I never connected the trail and the hiking. I've hiked thousands of miles now. I average about 150 miles every time I go on tour. I did 105 in Peru, a little bit short of 150. I guess it's because, when you get to the top of the mountains, there's nowhere else to go into the heavens, I guess, right? So, but I'm now tying that hike and that walk to the actual journey, the journey of life. And when you make that connection, man, I'm just telling you, man, it's amazing. I'm taking that same mindset to Egypt, to Kemet. I'm taking that mindset to India, anywhere else I travel to for all these tours. Mexico, I got all these tours coming up. I'm taking that same mindset of the journey, man. The journey is going to be amazing because it will lead you to a spiritual enlightenment.
Isn't it? It's interesting, Billy. And listen, I could talk to Billy all night because I'm having a good time and I'm authentic, and this is truly who we are. So I just enjoy this type of conversation. This is more than just an interview, family. This is I don't even know how to explain it, but it's more than just an interview when I talk to this brother right here. And what I want to say is, Billy, is that isn't it so interesting in life? You can experience an event, and at one moment in your life, it could mean one thing, and another time in your life, it could mean a completely different thing. So you can experience heaven and hell from the same event. God damn it. People would think, oh, well, to experience heaven, you have to do something different. No, you can experience heaven and hell from this same event just based on your perspective of it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Bro, this shit is fascinating, Billy.
Yeah. Heaven and hell is a state of mind.
Yeah.
That's where it exists, inside your temples. These temples, not the ones out there, but the ones right here. And between these temples, heaven and hell actually exist. And you can be in a situation where you can experience the joy, the happiness, the excitement, the glee, the gratitude, the appreciation. And within that same exact thing, at a different moment in time, you can find heartbreak, hell, despair, sadness, depression. All that can be within the same space because it's all about your perception and the way that your physiology reacts to specific situations within that condition, and you create heaven and hell right inside of your mind. And a lot of the times we create a lot of hell for ourselves and we torture ourselves, and we don't have to actually create the hell within our mind, but the mind, for whatever reason, it seeks to move into something they call ants in psychology. It's called ants, automatic negative thoughts. And once we get drawn into the ants syndrome, then everything becomes hell. And we begin to move and shift into a frequency of darkness and low frequency, and we begin to attract more of that. That's where we got to catch ourselves with the automatic negative thoughts and shift ourselves back into remembering, like I said in the beginning when we first started the podcast, remembering the good stuff that came out of the bad, separating the two and remembering and focusing more on the positivity than focusing on the negativity so we can maintain a high frequency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna they came out with some new information about the Big Bang. Somebody just said that. Yeah, I gotta look into that. I seen an article on that, but have you heard about that yet, Billy?
Yeah, they're saying that astrophysicists and theoretical physicists are saying that we might be living inside of a black hole, that our universe might be in a black hole. And I really believe that. You see, this Big Bang thing is a little bit twisted from the way we were taught from kids. My personal opinion, and I always tell you when it's my opinion, is that black holes on one side absorb and pull in matter and energy and spew out the other side a white hole, which is the next Big Bang for another universe. So that the black holes are an intricate part in creating the multiverse or linking the multiverse together. And that's what I believe it's happening. And there could be super massive black holes. And we could be on the verge or on the event horizon or shifting into one or in one that's moving, or we could be one that's on the end of a white hole that's spewing us out. There's so many new possibilities because scientists and theoretical physicists are finally starting to think way outside the box and expand what we know as reality. So I think it's a good probability that we could be in a black hole or on the other side, spewing out of a black hole from and turning into, coming out of the white hole, which is why they're starting to say, wait a minute, this universe it doesn't make any sense that it's expanding this fast. And it doesn't make any sense that there aren't, the furthest galaxy that we can see, which should be completely dead, is still alive. There's still lights on out there. The suns are still lit up. Why are those suns lit up? And they're saying something ain't right. But if you add in time dilation from a black hole, all of a sudden it makes a lot of sense.
Right. Billy, let's talk about this solar flare, these solar storms, these geomagnetic storms on Earth.
Yeah.
All over TikTok. This is, I mean, if you're in a certain type of information, this is an extremely hot topic. YouTube is a hot topic. Instagram is a hot topic. More people are paying attention to the Schumann resonance than ever. People are watching videos about sunspot activity more than ever right now because of technology, Billy. What's really going on, Billy, with when we hear about I think the most recent one we heard about was the X-Class solar flares. I need to start like a group called the X-Class, y'all. I like that name, the X-Class. I like that, the X-Class. But Billy Carson, you've been into this for a long time. Yeah. We hear talk to superpowers and this and that. What's really going on with solar flare activity and us, our avatars, our being, our symptoms, all of that stuff, Billy? Let's start out with that. Let us know what's going on, my brother.
Yeah, for sure, man. First, let's tell everybody what a solar flare, or a CME is. A CME is a coronal mass ejection. So you have the sun, which has a corona. And what happens is the magnetic fields whipping out of the corona, sometimes they crisscross. When they crisscross, it creates sometimes a CME, a coronal mass ejection, where a humongous amount of energy whips up the magnetic field and gets slung around like a slinking and then slung into space by the magnetic field. Now, these CMEs are so massive, they're magnitudes larger than planets in most cases, definitely way larger than Earth. And they happen typically a lot during solar maximums when the Earth is in alignment with one of these CMEs, or kind of partially in alignment. We get a lot of flare. We get a lot of the geomagnetic storms on Earth, and we get those northern lights. If you remember, just a couple of years ago, they were seeing northern lights all the way down, even further south in Chicago, Michigan, even coming more down towards the Midwest. And we got hit by this CME. We got glanced by it, and it sent all of these incredible night lights all the way down. Now, what are these lights in the sky? When the charged particles from the sun interact with the magnetic field of the Earth, which is whipping all around the Earth, it then travels down those lines of energy, those magnetic forces of energy, those charged particles. So they light up in the sky as they're whipping around Earth's magnetic field. And that's what's creating the lights in the night sky. And so there's a lot of things that go on with this, with these solar storms. Like, a lot of the times they can, let's talk a little more about what technologically what they can do. They can damage, they have been damaging Starlink satellites. Okay, so Starlink satellites have been getting damaged by the radiation from these, causing, of course, a lot of financial damage and internet outages in certain cases. Also, your cell phones, the cell phone satellites up there, they've been getting hit by these, affecting cell phone traffic. And of course, just other satellites that perform other functions, GPS and everything else, have been getting affected by these magnetic storms. Now, on another level, if you go back in time, you discover that these CMEs can actually reach Earth's surface, which happened a few times in the past. Even in the 20th century, it happened. Now, at the time, we didn't have a real true power grid. We had the telegram grid. It knocked out the telegram grid. And one time, I believe I think it was New York or either Canada. I can't remember which state it was, which country or state. It was either New York in America or Canada. But one came down so low, it partially knocked out partial grid, and they were down for actually a couple of weeks. Maybe somebody in the live chat could remember. Now, if we get a direct hit from a CME, an absolute direct hit, it could knock out the entire power grid, which would put us down for quite some time and disrupt communication, disrupt every single thing that runs off of a microchip on Earth, which could be a very bad situation because we wouldn't be able to communicate and say, hey, I need help over here. It could take years to recover from something like that. They have to go back to radio signals and things like that for temporarily until the grid can be fixed. Now, that's technologically what's going on with this. Now, there's a whole nother esoteric aspect to the sun. You have to understand that the understanding of the sun goes back into ancient times. The ancient Egyptians, they worship Ra, the sun god, right? And they saw that the rise of the sun was, the god coming up from the underworld into the sky, symbolizing every single day this death and rebirth. You had the Mayan civilizations that had pretty much almost the same exact belief system, and that they utilized these solar alignments and planetary alignments with the sun to make harvests, and also depending on if the rain was there or not, or the harvest was good or not, they would use that alignment for sacrifices. The Indians, Vedas, yeah, that's crazy. That's why I always tell people about these, these Mayans and these Aztecs and these Incans. They really didn't build anything. And when we went to Peru just now, the Incans that were homegrown shaman, their verbal handed down history is they built nothing. They tell you that right on the tour. So I was right the whole time. Then you have the Indian Vedas, right? They believe that the sun is spiritual illumination. It holds the prana. Now, in the more esoteric realm, when we're trying to understand the power of the sun, the power of charged particles, the power of how these particles can actually activate the body, right? This is where we get more esoteric. So we know that the sun itself is a healer.
Okay.
The sun itself is not giving people skin cancer. The sun prevents skin cancer. And say that again. The sun is not giving people skin cancer, it's preventing skin cancer. What's giving people skin cancer is the cream that you rub on to block the sun, the sunblock. That's giving you the cancer because the chemicals in there, the electrons combine and the molecules combine to make new chemicals, and then when the sun hits them, that's creating toxicity, which actually creates the cancer. It's the chemical absorption into the skin. The sun is giving out vitamin D, and it's also creating a situation where it kills the telomeres on bad cells that are creating cancer. So the sun blocks cancer and gives you health, gives you vitamin D. On a more esoteric side, we have to understand that these particles, these charged particles from the sun, especially during these coronal mass ejections, these solar storms, they can penetrate the body. They actually create more vibration and excitement inside your body. Your cells begin to vibrate, or like Dr. B would say, they celebrate more. And these celebrations can lead to all different types of activations. Now, along with this activation will come, or could come, some feelings of anxiety. You could get some fatigue. You can have difficulty concentrating. In the beginning stages of all of this going on, some people have talked about this, but then there's a other side. There's like the hard side of like getting into it, or getting into you basically. And then on the other side, there's this whole healing thing that could be going on. So it's mutating your DNA, which is these storms, when you look historically around these solar maximums and then look at history, you see big shifts in history around the solar maximums. So every time you go back in time and you go and you research the solar maximum time frames and you look at, okay, let me look at history around that same time frame, you'll see major shifts in civilization, major shifts in consciousness, major shifts in technology, major shifts in pivotal wars and things like that. Why is that happening? Because in some way, these solar maximums are directly affecting our DNA. They're affecting the oxidative stress in our body. And they're also, in my personal opinion, activating, in some cases, the pineal gland, or your third eye, by giving it the eye that can't see light but can detect light, is detecting these particles and activating, releasing DMT into the brain in very small amounts, giving people higher levels of consciousness and the ability to think much deeper and connecting them to their spiritual selves. Indeed. So it's a lot going on.
Right. Billy, what I want to ask you is, in terms of, and I want to make, we got announcements. I want to wait till we hit 2,000 people to make the announcement. So we got to, you already know what we're going to talk about, but we got a real big announcement we're going to make soon. But I want to wait to, but I'm glad, shout out to all 2,000 of y'all. I want to wait till at least 2,000 of y'all was in here to make the announcement. But I got to ask this. And I know a lot of people are wondering this based on what you said about the sun and cancer. And it made me think about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I think that's his name. And I want to talk to you with this question about the politics of race. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talked about, and I mean, they tore him down. I mean, they tore him apart when he said this. They was like, you should be ashamed of yourself. He talking, the word the jabbing tongue, y'all know what I'm talking about, or the things they do to our star seeds when they come into this realm. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The things they give our star seeds when they come into this realm. Robert F. Kennedy said it affects melanated people, basically. He said black, but melanated people more than other people. Mm-hmm. And in terms of what you said made me think about that. Because when you talked about skin cancer and the sun, some people will say that depending on your level of melanin, the sun will harm you. So you're talking about the chemicals from the suntan lotion, but if you don't have a certain level of barrier on your skin, it can cause harm. So some people are like, well, shit, I got to do what I got to do, Billy. What the hell you expect me to do? So
well, everyone has a certain amount of time they can stay in the sun.
Let me finish. Let me finish this. Do you think, because it seems like nobody wants to hurt each other's feelings, Billy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It seems like the politics of race, the politics surrounding race, and the uncomfortable history of race on this planet, Billy, is preventing us from being honest about biology and about spirituality. So certain people may be able to tap into something, convert something that certain people can't convert. And it's harming one group, hurting another group, or helping this group and harming another group. We go to the hospital, they base us on this, and this group gets harmed, or we're in the sunlight, this group gets harmed and this group gets help. Talk to me about the politics of race and how it helps. And how it prevents us from being honest about spirituality and biology.
Yeah, well, that's a huge topic because their ultimate goal in politics, I call it polytricks. These polytricksters, their ultimate goal is to create a divide and conquer system where they keep everyone separated and keep one race thinking they're better than another race, and to keep everyone fighting each other while they cut up the pie and laugh at us. They literally laugh at us. They get a good deep belly laugh. And what I was saying earlier, just real quickly, was yes, the sun is healing. Now, of course, if you have less melanin in your skin, you can't stay in the sun for 4 hours because your skin will get burnt, and then you'll have damage from skin sunburn. But in terms of understanding how much time can you spend in the sun, whether it's an hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, depending on how much melanin you have, is very healing, and you absorb vitamin D. Now, Black people, we need more vitamin D than people without melanin. We need more sunlight. More sunlight. Most Black people are vitamin D deficient. And the reason why we are is because if you do some simple research on melanin, it actually deflects light. It absorbs it. It absorbs the light and spreads it out. It doesn't deflect it. It absorbs the sunlight and it spreads out the heat. So this is why red light therapy doesn't work good on skin like my tone, is because the red light, it hits the skin, it turns into heat, and it absorbs and it spreads out. It doesn't penetrate deep into the inner layers. So we need more sunlight. Now, once we get past a certain threshold of being in the sun, we get this incredible super active absorption that begins to happen and take place, where this vitamin D begins to maximize, and we begin to get and we get power from the sun. You got to get past that initial 35, 40 minutes of direct sunlight. For some reason, a lot of my brothers and sisters like to run out of the sun. They don't want to be in the sun too much. They don't want to get darker or something. I don't know. I embrace the darkness. I love it. But you got to get past that initial feeling of being in the sun. And once you get past that initial threshold, then you become like an absorbent for the energy, the vitamins, the minerals, and everything else from the sun. But you got to be willing to stay in the sun for a slightly extended period of time than the average person, the darker you are. Now, in politics and polytricks, what they do is they want people to think that this one group's got it all figured out and they're the masters of their destiny and they know everything. Right. And then this other group, they don't really know too much. So we'll just keep them from thinking that they have any powers whatsoever. And the reason why they do this is because they want to control one specific thing, and it's called big pharma and medicine. So what is the average test for any medicine on a human being? It's a 45 to 50-year-old white male. Okay. They don't even use women. 45 to 50-year-old white male is what they base their studies on across the board. Now, knowing that Black people are completely and totally different than a 45-year-old Caucasian, but they still will prescribe us the same exact medicine, which will have an adverse effect on us and a slightly better effect on them. Now, it's still going to kill both of us, but it'll kill us a lot faster. I had a good friend of mine. I used to play men's league basketball with him. Very good friend. He died at 36 years old because he went to the doctor, got some medicine prescribed to him, the study was based on a 45-year-old Caucasian, and he drowned in his own fluid that night after taking that medication. And all he did was go in there to complain about some pressure in his head and his chest. And they prescribed him something without even fully diagnosing him. And he died off that pharmaceutical. So we have to understand that the stuff that they're doing, what they're doing is twofold. One is making money on the pharmaceutical. And number two, population reduction of one particular race of people, as many as they possibly can. This is why Black people have a hard time coming out of hospitals alive, and why especially Black women have an especially hard time getting treated properly inside of a hospital, is because we're heavily neglected and heavily profiled, and we're always, not always, a lot of the times we're given the wrong medicine for our physiology. There's been no testing done on Black African physiology for these pharmaceuticals, and they know this, and they know that we will have more adverse effects on us than the other people.
Indeed, indeed. Side note, family, I want to tell everybody on my front lawn today, you know, I live in Atlanta. The Hawks are out here. A hawk left its feather on my front lawn, so I now have it. And I feel extremely lucky. So this just adds to my gratitude. But a hawk came on my front lawn and left its feather. And it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm gonna put it up here. I'm gonna put it.
You know where the hawk feather, the hawk in ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet.
Talk to me about it. What they talked about in ancient Kemet?
That's Horus.
Yeah,
Horus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Horus is the hawk. Yeah, man. So Horus stopped by your crib today and said, "Hey, man, let me drop you a gift."
It's beautiful. I got left a gift, yo. Shout out to the Hawks out here in Atlanta Hawks. Y'all know. Billy, listen, let me say this. All right, perfect time. 2222. We got 2,220.
Wow.
when I said that, listen, I'll be so excited. When I was just about to say something, it said 2,222 people live. So that was the perfect time for me to say what I want to say. Family, it is official. It's going down 2027. Me and Billy Carson are collaborating for a tour to ancient Kemet, otherwise also known as Egypt in today's language. Family, give us a hand. Yo, come on. Yeah. Come on. We going to Egypt in 2027. The link is pinned at the top. You could officially sign up. There's a lot of options. It's a 6-day trip, family. Going to so many sites during the trip. We're having, listen, family, and I told Billy we got to do this because initially we was like, this is gonna cost so much extra money, but I was like,
cost a lot of money.
I was like, no, we the Rhythm Nation. We the rhythm of the we having an all-white. We're having a party at the Great Pyramid, right?
At the Great Pyramid, right in front of the Sphinx.
In front of this, listen, you know how that footage is going to look when they see this footage? No, nigga, nobody could get this footage out here. We're going to have a party in front of the Great Sphinx with the most beautiful high frequency music at that. Drummers, Kambada is going to perform King of the Jungle. I mean, it's going to be, oh my God. I told y'all I'm bringing Sunday service. I'm bringing the church, and I'm not just talking about Christians, but I'm bringing the music. That's our highest technology, family. And don't be ashamed to say it. Don't let nobody make you think that music is just, that's just entertainment. No, the whole universe is music. Y'all got to understand, music is the highest technology, and we are the music of the planet. Listen, fam, we're bringing that to Kemet. This has never been done before. The way we're going to do it, the way I'm going to orchestrate it, it has never been done before. And the name of the trip is called The Return of the Gods, family, because I know we visited that place before. And I know if you're coming with us, you played a role in something important in that place before. We are finishing business. We're finishing business. When shit went down, we said, I'll be back. It's all good. I'll be back to do what I got to do. I know. Same God, new look. We are the same gods, but we got a new look. This is my new look. You see me? This is my new look for this incarnation, for this lifetime, because I needed to fulfill what I had to fulfill. So this is the avatar I chose. Billy got his avatar for whatever reason. Everybody, some people may be super light skinned. That's their avatar for a reason. Some people may be super dark skinned. That's their character for whatever reason. But we chose different colors, different sizes, different looks, different eyes, different shades, different hair to fulfill our mission. Be proud of the avatar you chose because you chose it for a reason. And family, I'm telling you, it's the return of the gods 2027 in Kemet. The link is at the top. King Simon, please make sure you sharing that in the chat. Let me
I see King Simon sharing the link. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing, man.
I'm gonna post it again. Listen, there, this is it. This is it, Billy. What's good, Billy?
Yeah, this is it, man. Let me tell you.
Billy,
let me tell you.
Different guy, brother. I'm sorry.
Let me tell y'all why this tour is amazing. First of all, anyone can hop on a plane and go to Egypt, and they can get a guide, and they can just go see some stuff. You're gonna get about 50 yards away from the Sphinx, and you're gonna look from a ledge over at the Sphinx about 50 yards away. You're not gonna touch it. You're not going to go next to it. You're not going to see it up close and personal. It's not going to happen. When you go with us, we're going to take you on a VIP private visit of the Sphinx. There's pictures of me. There's videos of me on Instagram walking around the Sphinx in complete darkness, waiting for the sun to rise, right? And I'm down there showing people things, tunnels that lead under the Sphinx and all kind of crazy stuff. I'm explaining the weathering and the erosion of the Sphinx enclosure and how it happened and the water flow. You're getting a lot of knowledge, but again, you're getting that VIP private access. Not many people on this planet will ever get a chance to touch the Great Sphinx, to sit in front of the paw and watch the sunrise out of the east right in front of the Sphinx. You just don't get those kind of opportunities, right? You don't get them, you know? And then when we go to the Red Pyramid and the Bent Pyramid, we're going to go hiking inside the pyramids. We're going inside the pyramids. We're going to go to the Great Pyramid, and we're going to go on a journey in the Great Pyramid. We're going to take you up the Grand Gallery into the King's Chamber. We're going to show you a resonant chamber that hardly anybody knows exists, where your voice will be amplified 100-fold. And then, if you want to, and if you're up to it, you can go down beneath the pyramids. I know you heard about all those underground chambers. Well, we have the key to one steel door that leads 65 meters, about 500 yards beneath the Great Pyramid, that goes into another room, another space area, and there's another drop, another 30 meters. So if you want to go down there, again, this is all private. Tourists can't go down there. Tourists get about 10 minutes in the Great Pyramid at the most. They got to go in and they got to come right back out. We'll have several hours. We'll do a meditation inside the Great Pyramid. You'll be able to really take it in and really do some research and investigation and see exactly what it truly is, and get a chance to go to the Queen's Chamber, the subterranean chamber, and all of that. It's going to be amazing. I mean, just mind-boggling. And then we'll investigate and research the surrounding area on the outside of Giza, and we're going to take you to show you stones that have evidence of tools. We're going to show you tool marks. We're going to show you that they use high-frequency tools. They use potentially things that may have been potential drill bits. We're going to show you all that technology. We're going to take you to the museum to see the elongated skulls on the mummies. That's forbidden to take pictures, forbidden to take videos. You can only see them and walk out. You get caught taking a video or a picture, they might lock you up. This is how they try to keep this information quiet. Man, you're going to see the dreadlocks on their heads. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, the dude looked like a Jamaican with the locks, man. The dude looked like he was straight from Jamaica, man. Shout out to all the Jamaicans. You know, the Americas, because the mummies had the tobacco, so we don't know, who from the Americas was in Egypt and who from Egypt was in the Americas. But a lot of the mummies, when they did the autopsy, they had tobacco in the system. They had chocolate, coca, and they
coca.
Yeah, so I mean, there was some traveling. We don't know. We the American gods. We had to be there before, family. Shout out to Dre. Hey, Rude Dre said, I'm there. I can't wait. I know New Diamonds says she's gonna be there. But family, when I tell you, this is what we all been waiting. Listen, I had to meet Billy Carson in this incarnation specifically for this trip right here. And there was plenty of other reasons why I had to meet this brother. But if y'all understood the access, he has right now in Kemet, listen, you're not getting this access on any other trip to Kemet. And the fact that I could collaborate with him and bring my group over there, because he brings a lot of groups over there, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful trips, and it's absolutely wonderful. But I need to bring our energy there. Black Magic 363, our crowd there. I need us to be there and represent. Everybody brings their particular energy signature. We need to be proud of ours. I'm proud of my energy signature, family. The way I act, I'm proud of my energy signature. Listen, this is the biggest thing I've ever done. I've ever put together a collaboration with this brother right here on a trip to Kemet. Oh, I'm bringing. Oh my God, this is gonna
be crazy. I talk about the halls of Amenti from the Emerald Tablets, right? Where Thoth says him and the other rulers, the other gods, the seven lords, they all have their own halls of Amenti, and that they had these gigantic megalithic rejuvenation chambers where they would put a body in them and let the body sit there for 100 years so it can rejuvenate. And they would walk around in another body. They would transfer their mind from body to body. Well, I'm going to take everyone in this group to the halls of Amenti, Enki's halls of Amenti, 50 feet underground in the middle of the Sahara Desert. We're going down, and you're going to see and touch. You're going to physically touch these rejuvenation chambers with your own hands.
Family, now y'all know if you come on this trip, you've been there in that vicinity before. There's something calling you and to come on this trip and visit the halls of Amenti and touch those rejuvenation chambers and just be in that surrounding. We've been all over the globe, but Kemet was something special for us because of what it symbolized. We knew we was falling, and we started building certain monuments, certain statues. It's an important time in our history of humanity. It's a chapter that we have to close out that maybe we didn't get the closing out. And I think, man, listen, family, click on that link. This is not like a workshop where 10,000 people could sign up. This is not even like a lecture. Oh, how I did the Gathering of Masters, where 1,000 people could come. I had 1,500 people at Gathering of Masters. This is a trip, so it's only a small group of people could come to this, family. Yeah. So do not listen. This is not Gathering the Masters where there's 1,500. No, this is a small group of people because we can't fit everybody there. So family, do not wait. There's different payment options. I'm on the site right now. It's a 6-day trip. You could go on the website, click on the link, go to the website. You can see exactly what we're doing for the days, for each day that we're there. We don't have the musical activities labeled down there, but Kambada will be there. We will have instruments there. It is going to be a Sunday. Another thing, family. So for everybody who signs up, there's going to be, I'm going to have something called the Kemet hotline. I got 2 phones on my phone plan. So I'm going to give everybody who signs up my other number. You will get it by everybody if you sign up today or what, I have the number ready to set to go by Friday. So whenever y'all sign up, there's a number within now the 2027 you could call and you could reach out to me personally and talk to me personally. If you have questions, if you want to inquire about something, if you have anything you want to ask, and if I can't answer your question directly, I will get Billy on the 3-way. I will say, hold on, you call this number. Listen, everybody who signs up, the customer service is going to be superb. You're going to talk to me personally. personally. You're not going to talk to secretary. You're going to talk to brother. You invest in this much money, you get to talk to me personally. You get to have my second phone number. And if I can't answer your question, I'm calling Billy. Billy, yo, this person just signed up. You better answer this question, Billy. This ain't no joke. These people, you know what I'm saying? These people are serious. So you sign up, you got access to me and Billy. I mean, don't overuse it. Don't just call us and say, hey, man.
Listen, I'll just tell you a little bit of a system that we put in place. So we've done so many tours, right?
Yeah.
So we have a really good system in place. So that's great that we have the hotline. I'm loving that. They're also going to be put into a very special WhatsApp group, and I will actually be in that group with them, along with our team that lives in Egypt and our communicator and the person that helps the logistics from Egypt as well. You'll be in that group too, Rich. So when it comes time to send in passports, when it comes time to send this, questions about that, pickup times, all this information that needs to be done, it's all managed through that group as well. And then of course, you have the hotline. So there's going to be there's always a lot of communication.
And yeah, brother. I'm sorry, go ahead, brother.
I'm going to say every tour that I have, they're in their own special group. And so I have a phone full of groups now. And what's beautiful, this is the beautiful part, Rich. The earliest tour that I have is from 2022. The people in that group, every single day, they're still talking. They became best friends. The 2023 tours, all happening, all popping. 2024 tours, all popping. 2025 tours, all popping. So we created this community and these really, really tight-knit relationships between people, because they can actually talk to each other about the stuff that we're passionate about and not be judged by it. And they feel like they got family. Some of these people have gone and flew to meet each other after the tours. They become best friends. Some people are in relationships now. It's crazy. It's like a whole nother community being developed just off of the tours, and I love it.
Wait, hold up. I got to kick somebody out. Give me a second. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I had to put family. I'm feeling blessed. You know how you express we talked about communicating with the quantum field. I feel so much gratitude. I want to express my gratitude by putting something I found right here. So I'm gonna just wear this feather for the rest of the show. It was given to me by the Hawks, by the gods themselves. So I'm gonna just wear this right here. I'm one of the American gods, and I will be going to Kemet in 2027, a place that I frequented in a past lifetime, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do there. So, family, I want y'all all out there. King Simon's gonna be there. We talked to King Simon. I talked to him. He's going to be there. Blue Pill's going to be there. There's going to be B-Dell's going to be there. It's going to be stars. Oh, my God. Wow, Billy, when I tell you, Billy don't even know this. See, Billy don't even know this. Billy don't even know yet. This is going to be star-studded. Listen, the stars never came out to Egypt like this.
No.
People, they come out. See, we usually come out to Egypt separately on separate accords or whatever. The stars are coming together to Egypt. Listen, by the time I put the call out, y'all know how I do. Y'all see what I do. Y'all see who comes out when Brother Rich put up the Batman signal. They come out. Listen, y'all know who I am. So, listen, the gods are going to be, the gods and goddesses are going to be there. You know, I got to hit up Vicky Dillard. You know, I got to hit up all the guys, and I hope
19 keys.
19, everybody. You know, I gotta hit up everybody and get it popping. So there's multiple payment plans. If you got good credit, there's even a payment plan. I seen Billy had it on it where you could do shop pay, and every month you could make a payment. So you could do the shop pay. You could split it up into 4 payments. You could make an initial. There's just different things you could do. We're gonna work with you. But family, the most important thing is do not wait, because like I said, this isn't gathering in the masses where 1,500 people could go. This is something where there's a select group of people who could attend. So, and I'm not saying that, I'm not going to even say the amount so y'all can start counting and shit like that. But listen, and Billy might say it. I don't care if he say it, but just make sure somebody says, is the ticket, what do you mean by is the ticket included?
Okay, no, you have to fly to Egypt and fly home.
Yeah, the ticket that's on you. Yeah, the ticket's on you.
Yeah, you're flying to Egypt. Your hotel is included. We're going to be at the 4 Seasons. We only stay at the 4 Seasons, 5-star.
It's 5-star hotel, yeah.
5-star, yeah, 4 seasons, nothing but the 4, and which is phenomenal. And everything else, we have brand new Mercedes-Benz tour buses. I mean, brand spanking new, heavy, great deep cushion seats, bathrooms on the bus, which nobody has out there. We have an incredible team of about 16 people. We have armed guards on each bus, and everywhere we go when we're on site, we got armed guards ahead of us, armed guards behind us. Not that it's needed, to be quite honest with you. I never even had a need for it, or there's never been anything going on in Egypt. Nobody wants to blow up dirt, but we have them just in case somebody says, hey, there's Americans with money. So we have armed guards. These are government agents. These aren't just some random people that we say, hey, you want to walk with a gun for the day? You know what I'm saying? No, these are government agents in FBI suits that go with us to these locations. When we go into some of the private business, we have military escorts and we have military protection. They're standing there with their AKs right there. All, don't be afraid. They're just there to make sure everything's cool and that no other tourists try to run in there with us. When we go to some sites, because we do private visits, the tourists have to get out. So when the Forbidden family shows up, the tourists, they round them up like cattle and say, okay, get the hell out of here because Billy Carson's here now. And everybody got to leave.
Ooh, I see. Listen, we talked about the Kemet Tour. Ooh, I see some of the haters came out. Ooh, y'all niggas got mad in the comment section. Some of y'all, ooh, that ruffled some feathers. Oh my God. It's too bad. Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, we all got a destiny to fulfill. And everybody's gonna fulfill their destiny. Yeah. And I want all of y'all to follow this is what I want everybody to do. Follow your intuition in life. But the problem is when people follow what they think is their intuition, they end up miserable. And what happens is when they end up miserable, they want people to follow their misery.
Yeah.
If you're truly happy with what you're doing, the direction you're going, don't worry about what I'm doing. Don't worry about what trips I'm planning or whatever. Just continue to do what you're doing. Because I guarantee you, if 100 other people made a trip to Kemet, none of you Negroes will have nothing to say. But I know everybody could feel something about this trip. I know I can make y'all feel something. Y'all feel what? Y'all don't hear me. Y'all feel me. So for some of y'all, it triggers some of y'all. And for some of y'all, it makes y'all feel amazing. Either or. And that's okay. But I'm going to tell you, listen, I'm going to continue to do what I got to do. And I want y'all to do what y'all got to do. But listen, nobody's going to stop what's going on in my end. And you just do what you got to do, family. But I noticed an increase in trolls when I made that announcement. People get upset. They get offended.
It's called envy. It's called envy. Yeah, it's just envy, Rich. It's just envy. Yeah. I've been through, we're public figures, Yeah. Yeah. And it took that big shakeup that I had last year with that whole attack that I had. It took that shakeup for me to recognize that I was a public figure. Because I don't like to use the word humble, but I'm just an average dude. You know how I operate, man. When I'm out there on the street, man, I hug everybody, shake everybody's hand, hug all the babies, whatever. I sign all the books. I act like a regular person. I don't act like I'm stuck up or anything like that. But what I did recognize is when you reach that certain level of popularity, as your love grows, there's a certain percentage of hate that comes right behind it.
Right.
Because we can't have the darkness without the light and the light without the darkness. So it's going to be in there. But one thing I can tell you, Rich, that I learned about myself in the last 2 years is that I could take a motherfucking punch.
Billy, watch your language. I thought I would never say that in my life. Billy, watch your language, Billy. That's something I thought I would never say.
Listen, I could take a motherfucking punch. They hit me with everything they had. They try to bring the whole world at me. I took that punch. I looked back at him and said, "Is that all you got?"
Man.
I'm even bigger than before.
Man.
I looked at my post reach today. I had to screenshot it because it shocked the hell out of me.
Yeah.
My post reach on my Forbidden Knowledge, out of my 140 social media accounts, my post reach on Forbidden Knowledge is 28 million views in the last 30 days. And all of my numbers are going zoop, right? I'm getting all kind of, we had some private talks. I'm getting all kind of deals and opportunities and movie deals and everything else. And it proves something to me. And the same goes for you, that we're built for this.
Yeah.
We are built for this. We're built for it, because the average person couldn't do what you do, Rich. They would crumble under the pressure, under the potential hate, under the trolling. The average person couldn't do what I do. They would crumble under the pressure. It would snap their spine. But we're built for this. This was our life's mission.
Yeah.
And we're here to achieve that life's mission, and we're going to fulfill it no matter what.
Oh yeah. Listen, if anybody signed up already, let me know in the chat. If any of y'all said, man, just signed up, y'all join one of the payment plans, let me know. I would love to know. I want to know the first person. That's what I really want to know. I really want to know the first person who signs up. And I know me and Billy gonna check to see who got the, but if any of y'all one of the first ones to sign up in the chat, let me know. Somebody said, did it say $64,000 dinner party at the Sphinx?
That's on there. Oh, that's what we pay.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that, Billy. They say I'm. So, all right, so we're gonna give you some. Me and Billy got to pay that. We got to see.
How did that get in there?
There's expense. That's what I'm saying. When me and Billy did the planning, we was like, this dinner party is gonna be expensive. But we like, get rid of that, Billy. That's private. But listen, we're like, me and Billy's paying that out of our pocket. We're like,
yeah. There's
certain things, there's a lot of things with the trip. I'm telling you, not just that, family, that we're paying out of pocket just to make the trip that amazing.
Yeah.
And that's one of them. You gotta don't people gonna get confused when they see that. Get rid of that. You know what? And you know what? I'm gonna tell you what. I could have easily did this trip without the party and tell yo we going to Kemet. I told Billy, I said, yo, my audience is primarily melanated people, and music is important to us.
Mm-hmm.
I said, we're going to need that party, Billy. I said, we're going to need to celebrate after we do all of that and we go to all these places. We're going to need to celebrate. We're going to need to release some energy, and we're going to need to get some energy. And the perfect way to do that is to party. We call that party. But there needs to be another word for that, because it's so spiritual what we do when we party, if we're doing it the right way. But I told Billy, I said, Billy, I wouldn't have did the trip. Listen, family, as beautiful as all that is, if there was no party, I wouldn't have did the trip. And it don't matter to me. I'm good. I'm always good. Listen, I am who I was before I got here. So regardless of the trip or what, I wouldn't have did it. I did it. The main thing that made me come a part of this, I seen Robert Edward Grant with his peoples, and they had the party, and that looked so magnificent. Shout to him! I was like, yo,
I was there.
You was there.
I was there.
I was like, yo, they're partying at the pyramid. Who gets to do that?
Nobody.
Listen, you pass that. Listen, you never forget that. That's the highlight of a lifetime. So I said, I ain't doing it. If we can't do that, I ain't doing that. Billy said, I got to call the guy, and I got to do it. I said, Billy, whatever you got to do it. Listen, if there's no party, there's no Black Magic 363 trip. So Billy, man, listen, and that's why it's funny. I guess it's meant to be to have that. Somebody said that, and Billy posted that by accident. But it's fire. It's fire.
Yeah. The guy who builds the Shopify site, he forgot to delete that. That's one of the employees, but that's okay. I went and took it out. It's gone. Yeah, man. It's so it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. Make sure, let me know. And I haven't been looking at the chat, so I haven't seen if somebody said they signed up, because I want to know the first person. I want to know if somebody signed up already. Mm-hmm.
But listen, we're gonna continue with the show. We got to get going with the show. We're gonna Billy, you got about 30 more minutes to talk. So let's continue. I just said that was an important announcement, and I'm going to be promoting that. It's 2027. But like I said, you can't at least put a deposit and then make
these tours sell fast.
Yeah, make sure.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Rich, but people got to understand these tours sell out very fast. For example, 2025 Egypt been sold out.
Yeah.
Right. Peru was sold out 6 months ago.
And family, don't make me look bad. Because the white folks, Billy do these and Billy do these tours with the white folks. Man, listen, these tours sell out, and don't tell me white people have more money. Listen, niggas got money. Niggas go to Beyonce concerts all the time. This concert, that concert. They do this, they do that. But come on, we're trying to do something. We're not trying. We're doing something, and Billy knows what kind of channel I got, right? And I said, Billy, I want the price to be this. This is actually the cheapest tour he's doing, regardless of what y'all may think. This is the cheapest tour Billy has on his website or has ever done for this amount of days. And I was like, Billy, how much can we get it down more? How much can we get it down more? You don't know how many things go in to a 6-day trip. Yeah. From the hotel, a 5-star hotel, to all the people behind the scenes. To tours are expensive. And other groups, white people understand that. Negroes, they just look at it like, well, it should be free. But listen, what I'm saying is, listen, family, let's show. I want Billy to know, like, yo, my channel is ready to do these things. I want us to go to Mexico. And Billy, like I said, of course I could go there by myself, but it doesn't make sense to. My brother Billy has access to things that nobody else has access to.
Nobody.
Family, this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity, and it's like it's meant to be for us. Like, yo, we got the connect. Billy's the connect. Billy's the ancestral connect right now. Let's take advantage of this.
When we show up, the government antiquities head director is going to come up to talk to us. Government agents are going to come out. The people who run the sites and the archaeologists that run those sites, they're going to be all around us. It's like another level, man. It's like, I've been blessed, man. I've been really blessed. I mean, really blessed to be able to be in this position and for so many years. And it just keeps growing to where when I'm in Egypt, if I'm not in one other part of Egypt, I'm getting hit up on WhatsApp by directors of this area and directors of that area begging me to stop by. They come just say hi and take a picture with them, and it's amazing, man. It's amazing. Like, they really love the information.
So somebody said, oh no, that's not. Where's it at? After the 8,000 is paid, how much more in additional funds should we bring? That's something you call the Kemet hotline. We're not going to talk about that on here. Call the Kemet hotline. Everybody who signs up, who puts the deposit down, the number will be given. You call me and I will let you know. And like I said, any questions I can answer, I will personally get Billy on the phone. I will let Billy know. Billy, if I'm calling, I don't call Billy in the afternoon. I usually call Billy in the morning. We'll call each other in the morning because we know we have a busy day. But if I call him I'm going to say, Billy, if I call in the afternoon, it's somebody who signed up, and he'll know. He'll pick up, or if he don't pick up, he'll call me right back. So, but like I said, just don't abuse the hotline. But that's something we'll talk about on the phone, and we'll give you details over the phone with, all right? So you're going to have direct customer service to myself and Billy Carson via phone, not email. This is great via phone, and it's going to be amazing. Anybody who wants to know how much is the trip, click on the link. King Simon is sharing the link. I have shared the link. This is a 6-day trip to Kemet. Don't act like this has been done thousands of times by thousands of organizations, and they charge all types of prices. We're giving an amazing price. Nobody has access to what this brother has access to, and we're going to make the absolute best of the trip. We're going to remain positive. I'm bringing the music to Kemet. We're going to unlock things that haven't been unlocked in a long time. We're going to awaken things that haven't been awakened in a long time. I'm extremely confident in our abilities. I know we are ancient gods returned on this earth at this time. So that's why this particular trip is called Return of the Gods, family.
That's us. And by the way, Rich, the hotel, the food, the tickets to enter all of the sites, the VIP access sites, the party, all that's included. Right. The transfers from when you land and you get to the airport, there's a person going to be there with your name on a tablet, going to walk you over to the visa. You get your visa, then they're going to walk you over to pick up your luggage. They're going to pick your luggage up for you. They'll put it on a carrier, take you out through customs and security, load it into a van, put you in a car, and take you straight to the hotel. Make sure your luggage makes it to your room. All that's included.
Indeed. All right. Let's get back to I'm wondering if we should what time is it right now? 10:35. Let me see. I'll probably take one or two about the trip. Somebody asked about the days, about it being 6 days. Listen, if y'all see how people complaining about the price for 6 days, could you imagine how much people will complain on this channel about 12 days? You got to understand, family. Listen, for those who, first of all, let me say this. In terms of the days, it's 6 days. I want to make two things clear. Anybody who thinks 6 days is not enough, Billy does several tours a year. You are more than welcome. I advise you. I hope you sign up for one of his trips before 2027. Please do not come to my tour in 2027. Go to one of his tours earlier. He does longer tours, and you will be happier if you're able to stay there longer. All right. He does longer tours. The reason why we did 6 days is because you see in the chat, people went absolutely crazy. This is just black people. This is nobody else in the world. This is why people in the spiritual community, they concentrate on other groups. There's a reason why they concentrate on other groups, because they don't have to deal with shit like this. But no, this is facts. I'm just being honest. They don't have to deal with crazy shit like this. You want to do something, everything you do, people complain about it. Let me just concentrate on this group. But listen, all I'm saying is that's not me. I'm from the hood. I represent something else. So you see, y'all know Brother Rich. I might have some liquor I'm drinking one day. I don't know. but the reason why we did 6 days is because of the price that we could charge people.
I charge $13,000 for 12 days. 12,995 is for 12 days, and they sell out. My 2027 Eclipse tour, my 12-day is $14,000. So you can pay $14,000 in 2027, or you can pay $7,009 in 2027.
So this is what I'm saying. So listen, I'm gonna tell you, I got the perfect solution. Anybody complaining, go to the tour early in the year for $14,000. It's the perfect solution. You could be there for 14 days. I wish everybody the best on their journey in life. Go to Billy Carson's earlier tour that year. I have nothing to do with that, and I'm promoting it. Go to his earlier tour. You could stay for 14 days. You could, get your money.
12 days.
Yeah, 12 days. You could be there for 12 days, and you could see the eclipse and everything else. I'm telling you what I'm doing, and I'm telling you I'm collaborating with Billy for a particular tour, and what I'm doing is 6 days. But if it's too short amount of time, go early in the year. It's 12. What did you say? 14? What did you say?
13,000.
Yeah. So do that, please, family. Please do that. Please don't ask me or make a comment about the amount of days. Just go early in the year, and I'm guaranteed you will have a magnificent time. But I know a lot goes into this, and to pull something off like this in our community is not, it's not the easiest thing. And I don't want to put that out there, but you just got to do a lot of explaining sometime to the family who doesn't have concepts of these things that are being created. So shout out to everybody who's going to attend. I still didn't see anybody. I swear I want to know the first person. They're going to get something special. The first person who signs up, I'm going to make sure they get a lot of things that are special.
Well, the first person that signs up is going to get, or I can't get it on the screen. They're going to get one of these.
What's that, Billy?
The Forbidden Esoteric watch.
Dope.
It's the Tanu watch by Esoteric. It costs I think it's $333 on my website. It's a really good watch. It's a hiking watch. It's handmade, waterproof. It has very good weight to it, very stylish, a Tanu shape like the Richard Mille. Mm-hmm. High quality watch, scratch resistant case, and they get a free watch.
Indeed. Billy, let's get, now that we made that extremely important announcement. Let's get back to this topic, the solar storms, the geomagnetic storms. What I want to ask you, Billy, is hold up, I wrote one question that I want. You had the book that you published, the Emerald Tablets.
Yeah.
And you study ancient Kemet, you study a lot of the teachings of Tahuti or Thoth or Jehuti. And I want to ask you, what does Thoth or Jehuti say about solar flares and what we're experiencing now, coronal mass ejections? Do the ancient Egyptians, Kemites, Tahuti, whoever, do they talk about this phenomenon, or do they give advice or anything, anything they have to say about what we're experiencing right now?
Well, one thing that Thoth, Tahuti talks about in the Emerald Tablets is the fact that the sun is a portal, and that he even gives you the words to say on how to access the portal to get to other dimensions or even the other locations. You know, how to get through the gates of Arulu, which is pretty cool. And so not only Thoth, but even other cultures also have the same belief system, which makes me think that this was knowledge that was taught around the planet. The fact that the sun is a portal. And what's really crazy is that astrophysicists and quantum physicists now, they've been and theoretical physicists have been hypothesizing that the sun could be a portal or used as a portal. So modern science is now catching up with what the ancients already knew, which is wild. Are you there, Rich? Oh, he's gone. He's probably went looking for a book or something. Or you know how Rich is. So it's pretty cool. So now the sun itself, the amazing thing about the sun is that the ancients talk about the sun being white. And when you look up at the sun from Earth, it looks yellow. Well, scientists found out that the sun looks yellow because of the light scattering in the atmosphere, but that the sun, if you were directly in space looking directly at the sun would be white. And I'm always trying to figure out, how did they know that the sun was actually bright white and not yellow? Because the only way that we were able to find out was through satellite technology and actually flying into higher altitudes. So did they in some way have the capability of flight? Did they have access to information from, like the Dogon talk about the Nomo? Did they give them that information? I don't know, it's pretty interesting. But all these indigenous cultures all believe that, not all of them, but probably like 90% of them talk about the fact that the sun, in their opinion, or their star lore, I call it star lore, is some type of a portal. And it's just amazing that they all can come up with that same exact concept and idea. I believe that that someone or something engaged with them, gave them this information, because some of these indigenous cultures, they were very primitive. Like the Mayans had this belief and understanding. Now the Mayans had all of these advanced pyramids and structures around them, but they were pulling people's hearts out of their chest and sacrificing virgins, hoping that the gods would bring rain. And when you finally really go and talk with indigenous shaman from that area, and even indigenous archaeologists, homegrown archaeologists, they tell you the same thing, that the Mayans did not build anything. They inherited what was already there. The Aztecs came after the Mayans. They didn't build anything. They inherited what was already there. And so that's why you see a barbaric culture doing barbaric things in what looks to be a former advanced civilization. But they had this understanding about the sun and the portals and time and calendars. So in some way, whoever did build that stuff imparted some knowledge to their elders, and that was passed on from generation to generation. Eventually, some of the knowledge was lost because it's verbally handed down. A lot of the people were unfortunately tortured and murdered by the Spaniards, and the invasion that happened there by Europeans, unfortunately. So a lot of the knowledge got lost because, you know, when you kill an old man, a library burns to the ground. So, but they themselves were, again, recipients of information, not the discoverers or the people who explored enough to get the information. So what I'm trying to tell you is, I think that this information was imparted to people in some way, shape, or form, however it was done around the world, and they've all come up with the same thing. They talk about the fact that the sun will give you energy recalibration, that it will be help you with emotional purging, that it will give you an energetic detox. They talk about DNA light code activation. Now, they don't say it that way, but what they're talking about in their ancient way, it pretty much means the same thing, that the light codes in the DNA will become activated and more people will wake up. And I believe that's what's happening right now, because I can see the response to what's going on with these wars, these forever wars that are taking place right now and kicking back up.
Yeah. And
I can see more people than ever realizing it's a bunch of bullshit. I can see more people than ever before realizing something just ain't right. And I do believe that these light codes are being activated, and we're in our growing pains right now. Like I say all the time, humanity is like a baby trying to learn how to walk.
Right.
And we're in the stage where I think we've crawled. I think now we're trying to climb to the edge of a table and pull ourselves up so we could take our first major steps. And along with that, it's going to come what? Another fall, because as soon as the baby takes a step, it falls to the ground and it cries. And so we're getting ready to take one of those steps and fall. And that's what we're getting ready to see now, the cry of humanity around the planet. But what does the baby do? The baby gets back to the edge of that table or that couch and pulls itself back up again. Not too far later. It takes a few extra steps then. It falls again, but it knows it's not in pain. It didn't really cry the second time. It makes a little bit of noise, but it gets right back up really quickly. And it keeps trying to get more steps. And eventually the baby learns how to walk. And the definition of walking is learning how to control your fall. And that's where humanity needs to get to. Excellent. Once we learn how to control our fall, we'll be in a golden age.
Excellent. Wow. Well said, my brother. Wow. Well said. All these ancient sites that you visit, Billy. I mean, you just talked about Turkey. You go to Egypt on a regular. I mean, you go to Egypt several times a year. We just talked about that. You was just in Peru. You've been to Mexico. You've been all over the world. If we're talking about people who are alarmed about X-class solar flares, and we keep seeing the letter X pop up with certain things, and I did shows. I did a show with the brother B-Dale about the spirituality of the letter X and what it represents, because I've always seen people use it to represent different things. We see Elon Musk. We've seen the Nation of Islam with Malcolm X. His name before that, what was it? What was Malcolm's name before Malcolm X, y'all? I forgot. I don't. Shit. Malcolm Little, yeah, Malcolm Little, yeah. But we've seen the X represent so many things in the spiritual world. Have you seen visiting these sites? Do they have X in different places, in monuments? Have you seen X anywhere? I'm just curious.
In Egypt, you'll see in some places the crossing, and then both hands are holding either an Ankh and a Jed, right? But this is the X, and the X means extreme. So we're talking about something extreme. So they're trying to impart a message to us, or send us a message letting us know that what they did, maybe they lived their life to the extreme. They maximized this vessel, or they ruled to the extreme. Whatever it was, it means extreme. And you will see the X in some of the statues. You'll see the cross, and you'll see the arms crossed, and you'll see the holding of the Ankh and a Jed, or sometimes a key, a giant key.
Indeed. All right. Yeah. I was definitely curious about those X's. So all right, let me ask you this, because another thing you talk a lot about is grounding. When the Earth is experiencing, Billy, these geomagnetic storms, like these solar flares, these solar flares are headed straight toward the Earth, and they affect the magnetic field, and the magnetic field is causing geomagnetic storms. Do you think exercises, because we always talk about different exercises that enhance our spirituality, all types of these different exercises, do you think grounding is enhanced when we're experiencing geomagnetic storms because we're grounded to the Earth, Billy?
That's possible. Now, when you're ground to the earth, you're releasing electrons into the earth.
Okay.
And so you're normalizing your body and becoming in sync with the Schumann resonance of the earth, right?
Yeah.
And also it's removing inflammation from your body.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it neutralizes free radicals. In that way, it could neutralize free radicals.
Mm-hmm.
It could reduce, we already know that it reduces inflammation. It reduces cellular stress and oxidative damage. So when you're grounded, I think that the particles coming from these flares would probably have more of an effect on you consciously, but also would add more electrons to the body. So I think grounding actually relieves it and makes you better physically. Now, the mental part is enhanced because of the particles, but the physical body, I think, is more enhanced from discharging the electrons back into the earth.
Yo, somebody said, Rich, where did you get that feather? It was dropped off to me. Listen, I was working out in the park and I walked home and the feather was in my front lawn. I guess a hawk, a falcon or a hawk or whatever you want to call it, landed on my front lawn. So I'm like, this is a sign. I brought it home. I'm like, it's actually, you're not supposed to pick up a feather from a falcon, whatever. But
in Egypt, we're going to take you to several temples that are ancient, obviously, but we're going to show you the hieroglyphs where the Egyptians would talk about how you can pass into another dimension. But before you can get there, you have to see if your heart is lighter than a feather. And so they'll show the heart and the feather on a scale, right? And in order to pass through the gates, the star gates, you have to have your heart needs to be lighter than a feather.
Indeed.
Which means you've done good deeds all your life. You've been of service to others. You've respected. You've followed the 42 laws of Mayat and all that good stuff.
Indeed. Yeah, there's a lot of meanings on the internet. That's one of them. It means you have a mark for protection. That's one of the meanings I've seen. I talked to Rod Hayes about it too. That's one of the meanings that I've seen and heard about. Somebody also said, what's the deadline for the trip? There's no deadline. It's just until it sells out. So you gotta be mindful that there's extremely a limited amount of people that could attend trips like this. So you don't want to wait because you want to get it before it sells out.
Yeah.
So that's that right there. Billy. So Billy, with that being said, I want to ask you, when we talk about the Schumann resonance, when we talk about solar flares, and we talk about people are saying they're experiencing symptoms and politics may change, and people will talk about all types of external events that may happen from these events. Billy, I want to ask you, are these things, are they essentially remote controlling us, Billy? Are we like something that can be remote controlled, whereas when these things happen, we automatically behave a certain way?
Yeah, well, they know that nature has a direct effect on consciousness and the human body, and they also can predict based on historical evidence as to what's going to happen with a certain number of people when these particular events happen. They know, for example, when there's a full moon, the police officer have more people on staff, and the hospital actually have more people on staff in the ER, because they know historically the full moon has a direct effect on our physiology, and that for whatever reason, people start acting crazy and doing dumb stuff. And during the full moon, more people show up in the ER and more people end up getting arrested. Now, during other natural events, they already know what kind of stress, what kind of hormones are going to be released, and what kind of effect that's going to have on the mind of people, and what the fear and the fight and flight will kick in, and what the fear will cause people to do, or some of the potential things it will cause people to do. So they understand that, and they can predict not only what they're going to do or what percentage are going to make a move to do something, but also how they can monetize that.
Right.
So that's why the news pumps the fear. So, for example, if there's a hurricane coming to Florida, right? The hurricane can be all the way over there by Sierra Leone in Africa, and the news has already started standing by the coastline. Look, this wave just reached 12 inches. And, the guy's got 1 foot in the water and he's getting his ankles wet and he's building up to this. The next week, you see rain coming down on him. He's standing outside. The hurricane can't wash him away. But they're building up the fear in the mind because we know the hurricane is coming. Now we've got to run to Home Depot and empty the shelves. We got to run to the grocery store and empty out the toilet paper. You know, we got so they are programming us, and they are using program code. They're taking programming and utilizing it in collaboration with natural events to get us to do what they want us to do so they can monetize off of us.
Right. Let me ask you this before I ask you that question, Billy. I hear so much talk in the spiritual community, whether it's yourself, whether it's Joe Dispenza or another individual. Y'all talk about heart-brain coherence and what that means and what that does for us. How would you describe, Billy, if we talking about the importance of heart-brain coherence? How would you describe and what's the importance of spirit-soul coherence? We hear about a spirit, we hear about a soul. What does spirit-soul coherence? How would you describe that, my brother?
Well, you know, the spirit is inhabiting the avatar body. And so we know this at the moment of inception, when the sperm breaks through the ovum, through the egg, and actually connects, there's a spark of life that happens that they just can't explain what it is. They're saying it's some kind of zinc explosion. They really can't fully explain it. That spark is your spirit now coming to inhabit the new avatar, in my opinion. And so the spark comes. Now your spirit is in the avatar while it's developing. It's set to inhabit and live within the avatar for a temporal amount of time. And so now your soul is your higher self, in my opinion, based on my research. So we're tethered. We are spiritually tethered to a higher version of ourselves that exists in higher dimensions. And a lot of the times, now we're talking about becoming coherent, we'll hear a voice in our head. And a lot of people, if you're not really aware of what it is, you might think it's quote unquote God talking to you. Well, we're all gods. So yeah, in that mode, you're right. But in actuality, it's you talking to you from a higher dimension. A less evolved mind will mask your own voice and turn it into a bellowing deep voice, like it's this guy with a white robe and a magic wand. Wow. But in true reality, when you get to a higher level up here, you begin to realize that's my voice. That's me talking to me. That's your spiritual self. You're talking and connecting with your soul force, your energy force that's up in a higher dimension. And to get in coherence is when your spirituality within this physical avatar body is transmitting and linking directly with your soul force and are both on the same accord. It's enhancing your intuition, enhancing your empathy, giving you great advice. I always have this one saying I've been using for many years. If you see me talking to myself, don't disturb me because I'm getting expert advice. Okay. And so I talk to myself a lot. I really do talk to myself a lot out loud.
I love it.
Out loud. Yeah. But that's getting in coherence. I'm talking to myself and I'm asking myself for information. Go gather me this data so I can figure out what move I need to make.
Right.
And a lot of us don't listen to our own selves because we're not in spiritual and soul coherence.
I think, Billy, you know what's interesting, because of the way our culture is, a lot of us don't tap into things we are supposed to because we are embarrassed of the way our culture is. So, like you said, the talking to yourself thing is big. Another thing that's big is the way we breathe. A lot of people wouldn't even breathe a certain way because they're trying to hold in their stomach all day. So we talk about how the breath is everything. When we breathe in, that's more than just air. That's information. That's so much, so much. And a lot of people will restrict their breathing just because in our society we are taught that we're not supposed to look a certain way. So everybody's trying to hold in their stomach. So it's like we're not even getting the oxygen we're supposed to get, or some people say the electrons, because of the way our culture is. So when you said, you talk to yourself, that's dope. That you don't, you just do it and you don't care what nobody thinks. That's dope.
Yeah, I don't care. I really don't care. For the business we're in, we can't care what people think too much, man. We got
Listen, and that's one thing. And I'm actually going to make a video about being an entrepreneur soon.
Yeah.
One of the things that will completely harm you in being an entrepreneur is caring what everybody thinks about you, and that's something that everybody should know. But it's a reminder that everybody needs.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this, Billy: if the sun can send us signals, because these are not just simple. So, if the sun can send us signals through solar flares that our body could use and reinterpret or whatever, how do we send the sun signals? The sun shoots off this CME and it straight at the earth, and we're able to pick it up. How do we shoot something at the sun so the sun picks it up, Billy?
Well, that's a good question. I learned this in Peru that the sun. Well, I didn't really learn it, but I got a chance to. I got a chance to appreciate it. Excuse me. Appreciate the fact that everything is conscious. The wind is conscious. According to the shaman, he really got me back into a new mindset of understanding what I always talked about and believed in, but really fully understanding it on an even more grand scale. The wind is conscious. The mountains are conscious. The sky is conscious. The sun is conscious. He had us lay back on this rock, which is what in a weird, like a 75-degree angle, which was super dangerous because there was no way to really hold your body up. And lay back and just let go and spread your arms out, like almost like, like you're being crucified, and just send positive love and energy and blessings to the sun. We just did this in Peru.
Okay.
We just did this. Now, the science behind this, you say, how is it going to get there? Remember, every thought that we think leaves the skull in the form of a wave of light that we can't see with our naked eye because we can only see less than 1% of the light spectrum. But if I put an EEG cap on your head with sensors, I can collect your light waves from your skull when you think about something and send them straight to a computer, right?
Right.
So we know that we have the capability of capturing light waves. Now, what is on those light waves? What is the computer picking up? The computer is picking up data. So a cell phone works like your brain. A cell phone is sending and receiving wavelengths of light. We call these microwaves, right? On the cell phone. What is on the microwave? The data. So as the data rides out from the phone, it's piggybacked with data that rides the microwave to the tower and ends up on somebody else's device. The human brain works the same way. The light waves, when you think about something, blessings to the sun. I'm grateful for the sun. Those light waves shoot out of your skull with data piggybacking and riding itself up towards that direction. And they go into space and they never stop. It's on the grid. It's on the Akashic records at that point. And what's encoded into that thought? The feeling of emotion of gratitude. So we can transmit gratitude anywhere in the universe just by thinking about it and projecting it.
Excellent. Wow. Y'all hear that? Yeah, did y'all hear that breakdown? That family, that was an amazing breakdown. And let me ask you, since we're talking about the sun, and I'm not going to keep you much longer, Billy. What would you say with your study of all these ancient texts? What was the biggest, like when we think about America, and one of the biggest moments in America was World War II and the atomic bomb. They was like, yo, that atomic bomb really shifted shit. And it's like, they was like, yo, that was big. We were taught about that in school all over. What was the biggest moment in the cosmos? Like with all the things going on, the wars that happened, what was the moment in that atomic bomb moment in the cosmos where they were like, yo, this changed everything in the cosmos?
I tell you, listen.
Yeah.
Episode 1 of Anunnaki, Ancient Secrets Revealed. That's my docu-series that's on my TV network. Episode 1, season 1. The first thing I talked about is exactly what you just talked about. What is that moment? The moment was all ancient text, not all, but most ancient texts, the Bhagavad Gita, the Mahabharata, the Indian Vedas, the Rig Veda, specifically because it was the battle of the 10 kings, which took place in space. It leads back to the Pleiadian star system,
all of
which
it.
is the star system in our galaxy, in the Milky Way, known as the Seven Sisters by the Greeks, which was tied to ancient Atlantis, connected to ancient Atlantis. Now, these stars in this particular part of the sky, they had planets or have planets orbiting them. Now, according to this text, the people that lived on those planets were living in a golden age. That entire sector was in a golden age. And at some point, some disarray crept in, and the Yuga cycle began to swing back towards that Bronze Age again, and wars broke out. According to this text, they had the Brahma Astra, the Brahmahanda Astra. These are weapons. One weapon that says it can destroy any man on 3 worlds. Another weapon is a planet destroyer. Another weapon says once it was released, nothing can turn it back. These are major, massive weapons. One weapon is compared by modern scientists, just from reading it, to a thermonuclear weapon. And Oppenheimer, who was the guy who was the grandfather of the first nuclear bomb, right? After they dropped that bomb as a test, he quoted the Mahabharata on site and said, "Now I have become death, destroyer of worlds." That came out of the Mahabharata. So you could tell where he got his inspiration from, these weapons.
Yeah.
Now, when you have planets and moons being destroyed in a sector of the galaxy, imagine if Mars blew up right now. All of us would be looking for the nearest bunker on Earth, because a chunk of Mars is going to come and hit us and destroy half the damn planet. So the people in that sector of the galaxy, this is where my hypothesis and speculation kick in. It seems as if they fled that sector, that area, and they started trying to inhabit other star systems like Orion, Aldebaran, Sirius, A, B, and C, Ursa Minor, Ursa Major, and of course, Earth is one of them. They became space refugees. This is a topic I cover heavily in my first docuseries, a theory that I cover heavily. They tried to create brand new breakaway civilizations, the survivors of this big war. That was the big aha moment that shifted everything, that brought these advanced races to our part of the galaxy and shifted everything, and shifted our future, shifted potential, shifted everything we've done and known has changed because of that major war that ended a golden age in the Pleiadian star system.
Wow. Shit.
Yeah, somebody said also Aldebaran, 7 Blue Studios. That's right. Aldebaran was another star. Thank you.
Wow. Y'all on it in the chat, huh? Who wrote that? Let me see.
7 Blue Studios.
7 Blue. Oh, 7 Blue Studios.
Yeah.
7 Blue, you need to come with us to Kemet, man. You know what shit like that. 7 Blue, you coming with us to Kemet, man? I need y'all on board. I need some of the sharpest and brightest with us on board when we go to Kemet, because it's going to be life changing. But yeah, shout out to 7 Blue Studios.
Yeah.
Also shout out to Kwame Sunhorse. Kwame, I got to give you a call. I hope you're coming with us. I hope you're coming to Stone Mountain. I didn't even call you yet, but I hope you heard about Stone Mountain. I got to give you a call, brother. I'm going to give you a call tomorrow. He says Star System, 7 Sisters. Yeah, I'm going to give you a call, Kwame. I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm definitely going to give you a call, okay, brother? Shout out to King Simon in the chat. With that being said, Billy, let me ask you this, Billy. All right. So, Billy, if let's say if the feds, let's say we did dirt. Let's say we was Pablo Escobar. We was Pablo Escobar, right? And we was moving keys illegally. We're doing all types of illegal things, and we know that this is against the government law to do, but we doing it because we want to do it, and we want to, we greedy. We know the feds is coming after us, and we're making preparations, and we might be a little fearful that the feds or whoever is coming after us.
Mm-hmm.
Billy, the elites, the so-called elites, or the parasitic elites, they have many different names. If the regular person will be scared after for the feds coming after them for them breaking the law, are these people scared of breaking the law and they know some shit is coming after them? If they know an X-class solar flare is hitting the planet Can you imagine? You know what the difference between being scared of the feds and being scared of an S-class solar flare is? That's a hell of a difference.
Oh yeah.
Are these people scared of this cosmic happening that we're all talking about? Do you think they're fearful of this? And if so, what do you think they're doing in preparation for it?
Well, I think that they're just trying to keep humanity in disarray. They see the awakening happening. They see the rising of consciousness happening. They see the collaboration happening. We're shifting from competition to collaboration mode, little by little. They see people seeing through all the garbage and bullcrap and the poly tricks. So they are like in super distraction mode. How can we distract them more? How can we create more turmoil? How can we keep them divided? How can we polarize them with this information and that information? How can we set up a brand new forever war? All these things are like it's like a temper tantrum. They're in their last death throes, trying to hold on. They're holding on by their fingernails to this last little bit that they can grasp and hold on to. Very soon, they're going to slip off of that cliff and they're going to fall down. And you know what that means? They're going to be unalived. We're very, very close, I think, to seeing a major, major economic change, a major regime change. I think that people are completely fed up. And I think we're pretty close to getting to a point where enough people are fed up, especially with these abductions going on in the United States and this ethnic cleansing going on around the world and the other areas, that we may decide to shut the world off for a minute on our own and just renegotiate the way we want things to happen before we turn the world back on again. The people always forget that we're the ones with the power. They work for us. We have to stop letting them pimp us and make us think that we work for them and remind them who the real boss is. When we get to that point here, and we're getting there little by little, and these energetic changes between the galactic equator of the supermassive black hole at the center of our universe, we're fully aligned with that right now. We're getting those particles and we're getting this solar energy. I think that it's giving this shift, it's waking people up, it's activating pineal glands. More people are seeking more knowledge and information. And I think that we're getting to a point pretty soon. When I say soon, it could be, a few more years or so, maybe even a decade. People are going to really stop taking this garbage from governments and rulers and oppression from police and everything else. And people are going to stand up in a totally different way, not a way of picketing and crying and whining on the street, but in a way of not participating in the system anymore, because that's the only way to stop the system, is to not participate in it. And we can collapse the system like that, but it can only happen with collaboration over competition.
Indeed. Excellent. Just a couple of more questions, my brother, before we get out of here. I want to ask you, in terms of what we're seeing happening right now, Billy, are we, we see the solar flares and the geomagnetic storms, and people are like, yo, shit is going down. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. DNA is going to be activated. Reawaken, whatever. I want to ask you, Billy, are we waking up because this is happening right now? Or is this happening right now because we are waking up?
I think it's a combination of both. It's a reciprocal thing. Our energy is increasing. Our spiritual energies are increasing, which is adding more energy to this, in my opinion. This is my personal opinion. It's adding more energy to this part of the galaxy. It's adding more energy to our solar system. It's adding more energy directly dealing with the sun. I think the rise in consciousness has a direct effect on multiple galaxies, not even just our own.
Right.
And then, of course, the reciprocal, it's like the infinity symbol. Right. The energy is going out, but the energy is always coming back. It's like a torus field. We're sending and we're receiving. We're sending and as we rise, the energy increases all around us. We're co-creating this higher level of energy and frequency.
Indeed. Let me get to a question from y'all before we get out of here. We done passed the 2-hour mark. I didn't even know we was gonna be on this late, this long. But I want to get to shout out to everybody in the chat. I want to get to a question. Let me see if I I don't have any super chat questions. So
I'll tell you, we got one person that signed up through one of the for the Jot forum, Andra Parker.
And shout out, we got one sign up tonight. Andrew Parker.
Andra Parker. Andra. Andra Parker. That's the one I see so far. Andra Parker. First one. She's gonna get a brand new esoteric watch.
Shout out to Andrew Parker. We're gonna make sure you get a lot of perks. And you're gonna get a whole lot of perks besides the watch, Andrew Parker. I'm gonna make sure you're gonna get the Black Dots book. I'm gonna give you that book as well as a couple of other things. And I appreciate you for like I said, this is something new for this channel. Billy, like this isn't new for Billy. Billy does this with tons of white groups on his channel. So he does this, he's used to this. But for this group, this is something new. And this is like an experiment. Like, are people really willing to do this? Because every other group is really ready to do this. So it's just we're trying to see, and I appreciate you for being the first one to sign up. But Billy, I'm new at this. I'm new to something. I told Billy I could make it happen. You know what I'm saying? But Billy does this, so Billy's a professional. He got his groups. They do all types of stuff. So shout out to Billy what he do. But I know my crew, we could get it popping as well,
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's going to be incredible, man. It's going to be incredible. Yeah. And you have all of my books at your house?
Yeah.
So if you can give Andra a couple of copies.
Yeah, I'll send her a book as well. So you'll get a book from Black Dot. You'll get a book from Billy. Andra, well, you got her information. I was going to tell her to, I'll get it.
I got it right here. I'll forward it over to you.
Andra, I'll get your information from Billy. And I'll send you a shipment of books. I'll send you one of the tobacco, cigars, all types of stuff. You'll get a nice package. And on Friday, you'll get access to the Kemet hotline. You'll get access to the number. But let's get one question from the family before we get out of here. Let's see. I don't see any questions. Yeah.
All right. I got to hop on a plane and fly. Tomorrow morning, I'm flying to Greensboro.
All right.
Well, Cosmic Summit.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask one question about. This is the only question I see. Hey, Rue wants to know. Says, so does the flight have to be a specific time of the day to start the tour? Should we come a day earlier or the day of?
Yeah, you want to come the day before the tour starts. So you come in the day before the tour starts, and people typically fly out either that midnight, because there's always a late flight leaving out of Egypt around midnight. So midnight the last day, or the next morning after the last day. But you definitely want to arrive one day before the tour starts. So you would arrive on the 5th of October, if I'm correct, for the dates of that, right? 5th of October. And that would be the best time to arrive.
Indeed.
Yeah.
One last question I'm gonna ask you, Billy, real quick. I know you gotta go. How should we fortify our bodies to handle CMEs and solar flares? Last one, Billy. Good.
Well, that's kind of a hard thing to do. I mean, the best thing you can do is just grounding. It's gonna affect your mind, but I think that it affects our minds in a positive way for most people. But I think that just grounding is the best thing that you can do. Grounding directly to the earth, is probably really good for you. Barefoot on the ground, 15, 20 minutes, or using grounding patches, grounding sheets, grounding pillowcases. If you want to get some of those, there's a link to that on my website, forbiddenknowledge.com. In the very top nav bar, you can go there and get grounding stuff in case you don't get outside that much, or it's cold and it's the middle of winter. You can still be grounded working at your desk. There's grounding mats for your laptop, so when your hands are put down to type, you're grounded through the earth, because it connects to the grounding outlet in your house, which is inside the ground underneath your house.
Excellent. All right, family. I will keep y'all updated on the tour. I will have information. Like I said, it's 2 years from now, 2027. But you do not want the tickets to be sold out. There's very limited space for a tour like this. Somebody asked, and I'm glad you asked this, is there going to be a Discord? Yes, I will set one up There will be one set up by. I'll wait. The thing is, I'll wait till a couple of people sign up because there's no need to set it up now. If there's only one person in the Discord and you're talking to yourself. So when a couple of people sign up, I'll set it up so that y'all can start talking to each other. But like I said, there's no reason to set it up right now. But there will be one. There's just no reason to set it up right now if there's just only one person sign up. So we got to wait till we got a group, and then once there's a nice group, I would say 10 or more of y'all. Once there's 10 or more, because I'm gonna be in a Discord constantly, and I'm gonna give you the hotline, the phone number. But once there's like 10 or more, then I'll set it up so we could get things popping. All right, family. But with that being said, Billy, tell the people your contact info. We getting out of here if they want to get in contact with you, my brother.
4BiddenKnowledge.com, 4BiddenKnowledge.tv, and of course, Forbidden Knowledge everywhere else. And you can find me on my verified WhatsApp account. So just go to WhatsApp and look for business pages and look for Forbidden Knowledge.
Indeed. Hey, family, listen, I mean, such a magnificent show. I always love my shows to be highly energetic. This one did not disappoint. I mean, we was tuned in, tapped in, turned on, as Esther Hicks would say. And listen, I appreciate all y'all for tuning in. Shout out to everybody who's interested in the Return of the Gods Kemet Tour in 2027. Sign up as soon as possible. Shout out to the sister who signed up already. And any information, I will continue to update y'all on that. With that being said, we get out of here. Thank you, my brother Billy. I will talk to you soon, brother.
All right, peace.
All right, peace. Peace, family. Tomorrow night, Dr. B Serious will be live tomorrow night, family. Do not miss it. Tune in tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. And the tomorrow show is going to be a little controversial, but it's going to be very powerful. So tune in tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. Dr. B Serious will be live. I'm gonna just give y'all the schedule for the week. Friday, Vicky Dillard is returning, and that's gonna be powerful. So we got Dr. B Serious tomorrow night, then we got Vicky Dillard Friday night, and that's the week lineup. The lineup for the rest of the week for Black Magic 363. Somebody asked me about the feather. Wow, I got to see it. This was in my front lawn. A hawk left it there, so I picked it up. I said I was gonna put it up here on my thing, but I might just wear it during my show. I don't know. I might just leave it right there and wear it during my show. I don't know. I'm gonna see how I feel, but I like that look right there. But I'm gonna see. But this was a gift. This was a gift from one of the Atlanta Falcons. This was a gift from one of the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm thankful. But tune in tomorrow, family. 9 o'clock. Dr. B Serious. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Absolutely. Oh, yes. Shassi Diggs. She's a regular. She said, feathers, good luck from the spirit. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I got it on. Yeah, I got it on. It's protection, it's good luck, it's all types of stuff. I got it on. So, I'm good money. I'm good money. Somebody said put it in your hat. I'm not wearing a hat, but I get what you say. Somebody said put it in your headphones. How should I put it? How should I do it? What, like that? Should I do it like that? How's that? Is that better? Or should I keep it in my? Should I do it like that? Or should I keep it for a future show? What y'all think? I might just keep it here for now. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Wear it as an earring. Nah, that's more for the ladies. They say wear. Should I wear? Here's all types of ways. Should I wear it as an earring? Should I wear it as an earring? Somebody said, "Hey, Ruth said headphones is better." Y'all told me the earring. Y'all told me the headphones. There's all types of ways. You decide. I know I'm gonna decide, but I like the suggestions. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna decide on my own, but I definitely like the suggestions. Yeah. But I appreciate y'all, man. I had a good, fun time as usual. I love having fun on the show. And with that being said, shout out to King Simon. King, I look forward to going on that Kemet trip with you, brother. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be super exciting. But with that being said, we get out of here, family. I will see y'all tomorrow night. Make sure y'all tune in. It's gonna be a good one, y'all. I promise y'all. It's gonna be a good one. Dr. Be Serious, 9 o'clock. I will see all of y'all tomorrow, family. All right. Peace and blessings. Have a good night, y'all.